What's up, everybody? It's Neo Bands back again with another tutorial in Shapr3D here on the iPad. And if you haven't checked out any of my previous tutorials, I do let you know in the beginning that I am not an expert product design person. I am somebody that had ideas for my own products that could be 3D printed. I found Shapr3D as a 3D software program with the iPad that was great for 3D printed product design. This little guy right here is called the pop adapter, and I'm going to get to talking about what the pop adapter is in another tutorial, but this is just to show you an example of a finished product that I did use Shapr3D to create, just piece by piece, bit by bit, using a lot of basic tools and basic features, nothing too crazy and complicated. Now, this is a briefcase, a specialty briefcase that I also created in Shapr3D, just to give you an idea of the level of skill, I guess you could say, of the person that you're learning from, and also the hinges and these different pieces of hardware. I did not design each individual piece of hardware. I did download these pieces of hardware from McMaster-Carr. And McMaster-Carr is a place where you can not only download 3D shapes of different pieces of hardware, such as the latching mechanism, the hinges, and certain nails and screws, but you can also order those exact pieces. So when you use the 3D hardware on your designs here in this 3D space, you can actually order the exact hinges so that when you actually go to build your product, you will have the exact dimensions of what you used in the 3D space. I'm not going to be speaking about this in technical terms. I'm going to be speaking about these different features in very simple terms so that more people can follow along and understand, and you don't have to necessarily be super well versed in this stuff to get what I'm saying and follow along. And also be able to download Shapr3D, use your Apple Pencil or your stylus of choice, to be able to use this. And I definitely recommend using an Apple Pencil or a stylus when you are using Shapr3D. So in this tutorial, we're going to talk about how to create holes in a product or in a shape, pretty much any shape. And we're gonna work with this shape right here that is simply an extruded rectangle with fillet edges. In the last tutorial, I corrected myself after the fact. I was talking about the fillet and the chamfer and which is which. The fillet is the rounded edge and the chamfer is the slanted edge, but they are both accessed under the same umbrella, basically. And it's basically a matter of whether you drag outward to get the fillet or drag inward to get the chamfer. But you don't need to select anything from here necessarily. That doesn't necessarily do anything. It's just which direction are you dragging. So with this object that is simply a rectangular extrusion to create the body, and then we fillet the edges to create the softer corners. Let's say this is a piece that needed ventilation, so you need to create some holes in this product from this top surface all the way through to the bottom surface. One of the first things you might want to do is draw more circles in the place of choice that you want the holes to go. And if we tap over here in the left hand menu, you see search, sketch, add, transform, and tools. We want to tap on sketch, and then we want to tap on circle to bring up the circle tool. And if you tap on top, you see that kind of took us away from it. But if you double tap, you are able to see every visible object that is in our plane. And then when we tap top from there, we're able to see the top of our objects and sort of zoom in like so. But when we go to sketch and we tap on circle, we might think that we'll be able to draw directly on this top plane by just clicking and dragging on it. But when you actually move it, you'll see that we actually drew on the floor of the plane. But that's not what we want to do. We want the hole to be on our surface. So if we undo that and exit the sketching, what you're going to want to do, and you don't have to be in the top view for this either, you can be in an angled view. You want to first tap on the surface that you want to draw on, and then tap sketch, and then tap circle. And now every circle that you draw here will be on this surface. So now what you can do is exit the sketching, and we're all about efficiency here. So if you tap on each circle, it will actually just add on each one, and you are able to either extrude up to create these, cylinders sitting on top of your surface, or you can drag down to create a cutout in sort of a Swiss cheese sort of fashion. And if this was a piece that you needed ventilation for some sort of reason, so you needed this airflow, that's what this would be useful for. Or if you needed it to be, it needed to fit a rounded piece of a certain diameter or a certain radius, then that's what this would be used for as well. And then you can tap out of it and double tap your entire product, and now you have your entire product selected. That's it for this tutorial. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Share it with a friend of yours that you know is into 3D product design, or somebody that you know that has an idea for a product. Make sure you share my videos with them so they can get a nice introduction to Shapr3D, so that they can start drawing out their own ideas and building their own product, or just being able to, play around with it and use it. Till next time, it's Neo Bands, and I'm going to see you in the next video.